And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Well, howdy! Things can look quite a bit different, I suppose, if they're upside down. I've always enjoyed optical illusions that when you turn them upside down, it's something else. In fact, as a kid, I had a book, the whole thing. Nowadays, there's words that people do, where it's love one way, and then when you turn it upside down, it says hate, or things like that. And that is the concept about which word wars 1, 2, or 3 is based on. In this game, we have a bunch of letters that you can turn on both sides, and it's one letter when facing one direction, and one letter when facing the other direction. Now that seems obvious when you look at something like D and P, but how do you do it with a letter like S? Well, they found some unique ways to do it, so let's take a look at it. Let's start by looking at the cards. We can see here that this is a P when looked at one direction, which is worth 3 points. And if you flip it upside down, it's a D, which is worth 2 points. Here we have a T, which becomes an F. Here we have a U, which becomes an N. Here we have a V, which becomes an S. Here we have a Z, which becomes an X. Here we have a J, which becomes an R. And so on and so forth. And this is an O, now it's a C. And in case you forget which letters do which, you can see on the back of the card there's a nice little diagram that shows you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Okay, but that is the cards of the game. And then there's a different distribution of cards in the game depending on which letters are available. Let me show you a card that shows that. So there's a lot of the A/E's, there's 10 of them, and there's only one of the Z/X's. Now on your turn, you're going to get 10 of these cards. And I should mention at this point, as I do with all my previews, is that the components in this game may not be the exact same as I'm showing you. In fact, I know that one of the letters so far people have found confusing, so they've already redone one of the letters to make it look a little easier from both sides. But you're going to get 10 cards. And so you're going to look through these cards, and you're going to make 3 words with them if you can. So let's see, I can make bud. If you can't make 3 words, you're in trouble. Hat and shot. Man, how lucky is that I was able to get those 3 words out like that. And so you're going to have these words become words 1, 2, and 3 depending on the point value. So bud here is 7 points, hat is 4 points, and shot is 3, 4, 5 points. So I have my highest 1, my second highest 2, and my third highest 3. Meanwhile, at the other side of town, my friend takes his 10 cards, mixes them up, works with them for a while, and he gets 3 words. He gets van, which is 7 points. He has him, which is 3, 6 points. And then he has race, which is 3, 6, 7 points. So he has 1, 2, and 3, which is basically 7, 7, and 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare the number 1. So his number 1 is a 7, while my number 1 is a 9. See, 5 plus 3 is 8, 9, I'm sorry, 10. So because my level 3 word, my biggest word, is bigger than his biggest word, I'm going to get 3 chips. In his face. Now, his second biggest word was also 7, and I look at my second biggest word, which is 3, 4, 5. So he wins the second biggest, so he gets 2 points for that. And then his third biggest is 3, 6, and my third biggest, which is 3, 4, so 1 more point for him. So we've both gotten 3 chips. In a multiplayer game, the chips are going to be scattered around. If you manage to win with all 3 of your words, you will get an extra bonus of 4 chips, which would make you extremely happy because you're doing quite well there. And so that is essentially how each round of the game goes. If you can't make 3 words, well then you don't get points at all. So whoever has the highest number of tokens after 3 rounds wins the game. So one more time, the goal of the game is to get 10 cards, and you have to make words with those, and you can change the letters up and down as you want as you're making these words. You make 3 words with those, and you'll compare your scores of those 3 words to other people's scores of 3 words. Obviously, this is going to appeal to Word fans, but I think it's going to appeal a little bit more maybe than your typical game, because you're not saying, oh, I'm not stuck with a J, because I can turn the J upside down and it's an R, which is a lot easier to use. But if I can fit that J in. And so when you get the 10 cards, you technically have gotten 20 letters to work with to make the different words. And I can imagine that there would be all other sorts of games that you could take and play with these cards. The deck itself is a pretty neat device, having all these cards that you'll be able to use and flip upside down, and that's a cool feature in and of itself. So Word Wars, there's not a lot of time left on the Kickstarter, so if you're interested in supporting it, then you really need to go do so right now. So check out the link and go check out Word Wars 1, 2, 3.